Hello, my friends. I am John Morrell. Welcome to my home studio in the beautiful Catskill Mountains in upstate New York. I'm doing a tag video today. I know it's been a while. I am sorry. It's wrestling season, and I help coach my son's wrestling team. So besides work, wrestling, it's a wild ride here in my life. Great life, but a wild ride. So I am going to do a tag video, which was given to me by Tyler. I'm pretty excited by this, okay? And so it's going to be 7 fragrances that make you stand out. And this is the niche edition. So 7 fragrances that make you stand out.
John Morrell, fragrance review. Here comes the swag. Fresh and dope like heroin soap. That man's got
Keep it to 7 as well. Tyler did 7. He said you could do any number you wanted. I think 7 is a good number. And let me just say this too. I guess there's different ways to stand out, right? And so being different, smelling good and different. I mean, it's tough, right? So I'm trying to pick maybe fragrances that not everybody has, okay? But that, in my opinion, smell amazing and make you stand out, and fragrances that I have had compliments on for the most part. There's a couple in here that maybe I haven't had a lot of compliments as of yet, but they're just amazing fragrances. But the first one I'm going to talk about, I have had many compliments. It's a killer fragrance. Not a lot of people have this one. And so if you wear this, you will stand out, because I don't know anybody besides me that has it. Yeah, I really don't. At least I don't know anybody personally. I know many people have it, of course, but it is a really, really outstanding fragrance, long lasting, and can be worn year round. And it is Carte Blanche by Gravitas Parfum. Yeah, listen, this is just amazing. Top notes are, and I did do a review on this, so you can certainly go back and check the review, but the top notes are cardamom, gooseberry, Italian mandarin, bergamot, middle notes, almond, benzoin, driftwood, Java vetiver, base notes, musk, Madagascar vanilla, Indonesian patchouli leaf, Peru balsam, and ambergris. This fragrance is so well blended. This smells like, I mean, I can't even tell you, the almond in this. I mean, it's such a smooth fragrance. And I've gotten many, many compliments. Now, I do believe this can be worn year-round. I feel as though, and I've said this before, although I do believe it can be worn year-round, certainly as a signature scent because it's unique, I do picture this as just like the name. I picture this as like someone who has money, or someone who, at least someone who has their crap together. But definitely what I picture this is like, I don't know, somewhere like on the French Riviera or something like that. It's just such a nice, oh man, I love this fragrance. I mean, this is someone's signature scent. It should be. If I had to keep 20 fragrances, and I am narrow. By the way, for those of you who are interested, I have about over 200, maybe 250 fragrances. I am whittling down. I'm whittling down my collection. I want to keep like 50 that I love. I'm doing this thing where if I don't love it, I'm not going to keep them. I'm just hoarding fragrances and other people could enjoy them. So I am whittling down my fragrance collection right now, selling them off. But this would not be one I would ever sell. It's amazing. So there you go. First one, Gravitas Parfums Carte Blanche. Next fragrance is something I can imagine a king or an emperor or a queen or an empress wearing. This is a unisex fragrance. It really is. And it's just amazing. This is a royal fragrance, and it's called Santal Royal, and it is by Guerlain. All right, so Santal Royal by Guerlain. I'm not going to add it in my bloopers. And there you go. This is just, ooh, the sweetness. This is top notes are jasmine, neroli, middle notes rose, cinnamon, peach, base notes oud, sandalwood, leather, amber, and musk. And this is a very Middle Eastern style fragrance but it's sweet. It is, you really smell the peach in this all the way through, which is one of the middle notes, but the neroli, the peach, it sweetens it up. The cinnamon and rose, though, it's just so divine. This is a divine fragrance. So you will stand out with this fragrance because, number one, I don't know anybody else besides me that has this fragrance for whatever reason. It's and I do consider Guerlain, this line, L'Absolu d'Orient, I consider them a niche. I consider this a niche line of Guerlain. So it does fit into my niche category. And it's just There's nothing to say about it. This is another fragrance I would never get rid of. I will always have this because it's just unbelievable. To me, I do believe that's a fragrance. Santal Royal is a fragrance year-round, maybe in the heat, might be, and again, these are recommendations, right? You can wear anything, anytime you want. I do. However, I think in the high heat, it might be a little syrupy to wear in the high heat. But again, it's awesome. And I do think this is, to me, this is a formal fragrance. Now, I've worn it around the house, but I do believe it's a formal fragrance. Like if you wear just a nice suit with this, you are the boss. Like I said, just royalty. So again, second fragrance, these are no particular order, of course. Second fragrance, Santal Royal by Guerlain. Next one, I'm going to put this in here, and I don't have to talk much about it, but I do believe this is going to make you stand out. Listen, I always say this. Everybody has a Ventus. Not really true, right? I mean, not everyone has a Ventus, but, more frag heads have a Ventus, and more people who are not frag heads have a Ventus than other fragrances because it is considered to be the king of fragrances, right? It did change the game. That's not what I'm about to say. I'm not going to say a Ventus because I do think you could run across people that are wearing it. But the fragrance that I think to me was the Aventus killer for me. I love Aventus and I love the DNA. I've said it many times. I'm not a hater. But to me, this was the Aventus killer for me. It's something I wear much more than Aventus, much more than Mont Blanc Explorer, which I actually like. I like more than Aventus at this point. And it is Elysium. Roja's Elysium. Okay, or Raja's Elysium. He says Raja, so I should say that. I apologize. Raja's Elysium. And I love this. I don't talk a lot about it. I've talked about this so many times. I'm just ringing that bell, right? But again, not a lot of people have it because it is pricey. This runs retail $330, I think. You can get it discounted, maybe. I'm guessing $280, something like that, on Venba fragrances. That's where I got mine. But it's. Man, I will always have this. They could make this bottle $1,000. And if I ran out, I would have to buy it. It's that good. It's that good. So, I'm not going to go through the notes because right? This is a heavy lemon lime, right? And then it has an ambergris. It's just, I love this, man. I love everything from the beginning to the middle to the dry down. It's all good. But the lemon lime does last through most of the life of the fragrance, but it dries down magnificently as well. So again, Elysium by Raja. Next fragrance is fairly new to my collection, fairly new. It took me a while to pull the trigger on this, but man, I'm glad I did. And it was really due to Tyler just saying, oh man, you got to get this. And you guys know that I like barbershop fragrances. My wife, however, does not like barbershop fragrances, says I smell like an old man every time I wear one, and I am an old man, but that's what she says. This one, though, Gravitas pour Homme. Gravitas pour Homme by Naughton and Wilson. And I'm trying to get it so that the glare is not there. I mean, this thing is killer. I love the bottle, first of all. Oh, can we get it without the light? All right, as much as I can. There we go. I love the bottle. I do. The gold plate in the front. I just love it. The cap's nice and heavy. Don't pick it up by the cap, though. The cap doesn't stay on that well. Not that tightly, I should say. And this is a barbershop style fragrance, okay? However, it's definitely more modern, very unique, and this will make you stand out for sure in a good way. It's lavender, mandarin orange, bergamot on the top, and then cardamom, coriander, pepper in the mid, and then base notes are vanilla, patchouli, oak moss, and ambergris. And this fragrance is so good. It's so good. The opening's great, but I love about 15 minutes into it. It's just this creamy sort of barbershop, but again, just has this kind of, the bergamot and the orange give it just a little something different. And again, the pepper spices it up a little bit. It's very smooth. I mean, what a blend on this. This is all year round for sure. I also like Bon Viveur. I have that Bon Viveur by Naughton and Wilson as well, which is also a barbershop style fragrance. A little bit more, in my mind, a little more fresh, maybe a little more warm weather. It's more of the style of Viking by Creed. It doesn't smell like it, but it has a clove. Anyway, we're not talking about that, right? I apologize. I'm off on a tangent. We're talking about Gravitas, which is just amazing. The blend on this is absolutely outstanding. It's fairly linear on my skin. Okay, it's fairly linear on my skin, but I enjoy that because I love it. And once the first 15 minutes, after that, it stays fairly linear. I get a good amount of longevity on this, right? And I didn't mention that in the other fragrances because you've heard me talk about those fragrances before, so you know they're all long lasting, right? They're all killers, right? As far as longevity. This one I haven't talked about. So yeah, the longevity on this is about 7 to 8 hours on me, on my skin for sure. It doesn't project way out. Okay, so this isn't, I would say this is an arm's length for the first hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then it sits a little closer. You have a bubble around you. It's not a skin scent by any stretch. It's just a little bubble around you. And again, that bubble stays there for, I'm going to say 6-7 hours, and then it comes closer to the skin. Then it's just very close to the skin for another hour or two. So you're going to get 8 hours out of this. Last hour or so, more of a skin scent, but this is a killer fragrance. And people, listen, even people who don't like my wife tolerates this one. She hates barbershop scents. This one she tolerates. I'm not going to say she likes it because she just doesn't like that style, right? But she tolerates this one, which means it must be awesome because anything else, any aromatic fougere she just hates. So this is just amazing. So there it is by Norton & Wilson, Gravitas pour Homme. Okay, next fragrance I have also talked about. So I'm not going to get way too far into it. That I just, this will absolutely make you stand out because no one I know owns this fragrance. Not even frag heads. I don't know any frag heads who talk about this who have it. So people in general do not have this fragrance, and it is African Rooibos by Chris Collins. I have a few of Chris Collins' fragrances. This is by far my favorite. It's not close. I actually sold off one of the fragrances I bought of Chris Collins because I didn't love it, right? I didn't love it. I do love this. And when I say love it, it's in my top 10 of all time. Best tea scent I've ever smelled in my life. Again, I'm not going to talk too much about the notes in this, but it's a tea scent and it's just unbelievable. I have done a review on this, so I don't have to get too far into it, but the longevity is nice on it. On me, longevity is about 7 hours, right? It doesn't get crazy. It's not a beast, but longevity on me is about 7 hours. Projects in the beginning way out. For the first couple hours, projects, I would say an arm's length for sure, and then comes closer and it's a bubble for a while, but it's just outstanding. It's a year-round fragrance. And when I say that, I do believe you can wear this all year round. I think it thrives in spring and summer, and it's light enough to wear in high heat as well. But I think you can wear this anytime. It's just killer. It really is. Killer is my word of the day, apparently, but it's stunning. So African Rooibos again, and that is my, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth fragrance. There you go. So that's my fifth fragrance that make you stand out. Again, this is the niche episode. Next fragrance, I don't know if you consider it niche, but I group indie into niche, and so I don't know which you would consider this, but I will say that this is a fragrance that I get constant compliments on. Not a lot of people have this one either because it's so pricey, but people aren't looking for the deals. There are deals on this fragrance, outstanding deals, where you can get this for somewhere around $100 or a little under $100. And they used to be always 2 for 1, which again, that's cool, I guess, but what if you don't want to, right? I get that. But I've seen deals recently where you can get this fragrance for a flat $100, and it's 100% worth it, which is Date for Men by Fragrance One. Date for Men by Fragrance One is just a sexy animal. When I wear this, my wife every time is like, wow, you smell sexy. What is that? She can't keep track of what I have. So she asks me what it is every single time. And I go, it's Date for Men. I tell you this every time. You have so many, I can't tell. I have no idea. And sometimes she'll smell a fragrance on me once, say she loves it, smell it on me a different time and say she doesn't like it. It's like that for whatever reason. This is not one of those. This is a fragrance that every time I wear it, she's like, wow, you smell so sexy. She likes me to wear it to bed. To sleep. Don't be dirty. That too. went to sleep. Day for Men. It's just it's if you don't have it, you should. It's a fingerprint magnet. You can see. I mean, I didn't wipe it down. But yeah, this is just an unbelievable fragrance that gets a lot of compliments, not just from her, which is all I need, to be honest. But anywhere I wear it, people go, "Ooh, you smell good. What is that?" Everywhere. I wore it to a Halloween party. And people were coming up to me going, "What are you wearing? You smell great." Like as we're chatting, you know. So Day for Men. That is my 6th fragrance that will make you stand out. Last but not least, the 7th fragrance, niche fragrance, 7th niche or indie fragrance that will make you stand out. A fragrance that not a lot of people have. And again, that's not necessarily the criteria here, but it just happened to be. These are fragrances that I don't know a lot of people that own them. So I think that's cool. This one is Layton Exclusif. Layton Exclusif is, don't have to say much about this. I mean, you know, right? I mean, first of all, I actually believe Layton could be on this list. I actually do believe that because I actually don't think, again, this is this thing where we in the frag community go, oh, everyone has Layton. Really? Who? Like no one I know in my life besides frag heads has Layton. No one. So Layton could have made the list. So if you want something a little less challenging, Layton would go here. However, we're going to be a little challenging. And Layton Exclusif, okay, Layton Exclusif is a little more challenging, okay? So it's a little darker, is what I mean. It is a beast as far as projection, a beast as far as longevity. We're talking, this is a 10, 12-hour fragrance. I'm not kidding. And it projects for like 3-4 hours. Projects for like 3-4 hours, at least an arm length. People smell you. If you haven't, there's almond, there's mandarin orange, there's bergamot, there's watery notes. That's what's so fascinating about this because it's a darker fragrance. But then civet, which is an animalistic, I'm not going to get into what that is. I think it's actually the anal glands but anyway, I digress. It's a little, when you see it, you're like, what? What are we doing here? But I got to tell you, it's a little animalistic, geranium, rose, gardenia, water lily. And then the base notes are Laotian oud, Gaiac wood, vanilla, coffee, sandalwood, Indonesian patchouli leaf, oak moss, amber, pink pepper. This is a fragrance that is just, it's so good. It's so good. And is it too challenging for regular folks who aren't fraggots, who don't want to go? I don't think so. It's smooth. It's ambery. There's a little woodiness to it. It's creamy. It is creamy as it dries. People love this. There's no vanilla. Oh, there is vanilla. Okay, I was going to say there's no vanilla because there's definitely a vanilla. It's so creamy. And I get compliments every time I wear this from everybody. People go, what are you wearing? Now, I shouldn't say, people ask me what I'm wearing. I hope that's a compliment. You never know, but it will get you noticed. It's just an amazing fragrance. Another one all of these that I've named, one of the things about these, every one of these I've named, I will always have my collection. As I whittle down my collection, as I sell my fragrances off, these are not among those in any way. I don't care because I will have to buy them again. They're staples, and I've been wearing this. I got to tell you, Layton Exclusif. I wore this 5 days in a row last week. That's how good it is. 5 days in a row, I wore it. And so I couldn't even on my Instagram put my fragrance of the day because this was my fragrance of the day for 5 days. It was wild, 4 or 5 days. I can't remember exactly which. I might have been 5. And so there they are. 7 fragrances that make you stand out in a good way. Okay, so that's tag video. I want to thank Tyler very much for tagging me on that. And so, let's tag someone. I've always wanted to tag this fella. I am tagging the fragrance wardrobe. The fragrance wardrobe. Fragrances that make you stand out. It could be 7, like Tyler did. I did 7. It could be niche, or you could just mix them. It doesn't really matter, right? Tyler was kind of like, hey, you can do it however you want to do it. But I stayed with what he did, so I did 7 niche fragrances that make you stand out. Fragrance wardrobe, it's on you. We out.
John Morell, fragrance review. Here comes with the swag. Fresh and dope like heroin soap. That man's got